obviously our thoughts and prayers are with everybody that's been affected by, these fires. It's one of those deals that almost doesn't feel real, but it certainly is real to the people that are affected. And, praying, that as many people are okay, and, you just see the amount of people that are affected. And it's one of those deals that, it gives you perspective. And so hopefully get this stuff, under control. And, it's been a unique week. Fortunately for us, there's been some people that have been affected in regards to power outages, recommended evacuation. A couple of our staff members did have their homes affected. But fortunately, to my knowledge, nobody has been injured. And, for that, we're grateful.
Sean, how has this affected your preparation for the game at all, if any? And are you expecting the game to still be played Monday at SoFi?
I am expecting the game to be in SoFi. We're operating with the full expectation that that's where we're going to play. As far as how it's been affected and altered, I think you acknowledge these things, but you also want to make sure that, how you can control, making sure that you're doing the right things is preparing accordingly, while also being mindful of this is bigger than football. And if the people that you're directly involved with are affected, making sure that you're, tending to that first. And I think, you look at Carter Crutchfield, Sophie Harlan, so many of our staff members have done a great job, Casey Africano, of making sure that they're connected with the players, staff members, to take care of that first, and then ultimately, do a great job with our preparation so that we can play as well as possible on Monday.
So you do have some wins here, but what are the factors that go into deciding to practice?
Just air quality, that was the main thing, because of where we're at. And Reggie Scott did a great job, and with Carter being able to kind of monitor that. Hasn't been anything that's going to put our players at risk, so we've been able to operate as normal. So, here's what I would say. It doesn't really matter, Lindsay. It matters. We'd like to be able to play the game at home in front of our fans. That's the way that we're operating. But what I can't do is I can't control exactly when that final decision will be made. I think the most important thing is let's hopefully get this situation that's bigger than football under control as quickly as possible so that it gives us the best opportunity to be in LA. If it's not in LA, then the game will still be played, and we've got to be able to get ready to roll in the meantime. Well, I think, you realize the perspective, and, you hate for situations like this to arise. There was something similar that we've been a part of in 2018 with LA together, and you talk about really what sports represents is an opportunity for people to come together, provide a temporary sense of relief from some of the things that they're going through. And I am excited about the opportunity for our team to go compete where people can be proud and have a team that I think, represents a lot of the things that are right about sports. And I know we're going to prepare to the best of our ability to do that.
I know no two games are the same. Talking about the upcoming game, though, what do you think were the biggest factors in you guys being able to beat the Vikings the first time around?
Yeah, you mentioned it. I mean, there's so many things that have taken place since then. It was two good football teams going at it. They've certainly been great. They really, had gone on an incredibly long winning streak, if you will, and then went against the number one seed in the NFC, for the NFC last week. But I think guys were able to make plays. Guys were able to play within themselves. That's usually what it comes down to. But every single game is its own separate entity. We got to prepare to the best of our ability and go shoot our shot. Yeah.
Have you been in communication with the fans or any of them, and what's the nature of it?
Yeah, I think they were more just checking to see. I talked to both him and Wes. They were just checking in to make sure that we're okay. I think, when you see it, you realize the severity and the seriousness of it. Not necessarily aware of, all right, where are you in proximity to some of these different locations? And so it was more just friends checking up, not necessarily worried about how does that affect our game. I'll come to you right after this, Sarah. You go ahead. There have been a few. There was recommended evacuation, and then a couple of our staff members, their places were affected. Yeah, that's something that we've explored. Don't expect it to get to that just based on our projections, but players' health and safety is at the forefront of our concerns. If it got to that, then we would alter our practice plans and be able to utilize SoFi.
That first game against the Vikings, there's been kind of some down, how do you get the best out of him, or is it just something that you got to see what happens?
Well, I think he's played so long that he does a great job of bringing his best in the most important moments while just playing within himself. And thought he did a couple things that were unbelievable, and then there was a couple examples of really just being able to do a great job of playing the quarterback position, distributing the football. But when he ended up breaking a couple tackles and going off schedule, those are always fun things. But I think he's at his best when he's just in the moment and enjoying it. And that's what I saw there. There's been a lot of examples of that. It's the greatest team sport that there is. But all we need is Matthew to just be Matthew, and that'll be, all we need from him, and that's what we're expecting.
Your first playoff game at SoFi since that Super Bowl game. Do you think back to that at all? I know you've had a million other games.
Yeah, those were some great memories. Being able to play 3 out of our 4 playoff games at home, even though the Super Bowl was a neutral site, or supposedly a neutral site. So it was, hadn't thought about it until you mentioned it. Really, we're just grateful to be at home and looking forward to a great home atmosphere.
Couple more, guys.
The Vikings weren't ever able to generate any pressures on the blitzes. What was significant about the way that you guys prepared, the way that you guys tried to negate those distinct pressures?
Yeah, I think it goes back to our guys executed. This is a great defense. Coach Flores does an excellent job of presenting a variety of issues. They got great personnel on all 3 levels of the defense. They've got versatile pieces that can create a bunch of different issues for you, and we're expecting their best. There's a reason why they've gotten all the accolades, recognition that they have defensively. This is what you love. It's a great challenge. Whatever happened in that game has nothing to do with how we're going to play on Monday. You use that as a learning opportunity, but you got to be ready to go and be at your best in that 3-hour window that we're allotted. Well, the stakes are higher, so I think you want to try to keep as much normalcy as possible while embracing the opportunity that's been earned. I think the most important thing is, hey, let's enjoy it. Do the stakes rise? Is the speed of play a little bit better? That'd be better for players to be able to answer, but I know this. You try to be as consistent in your preparation. You try to continuously improve like we talk about with our guys, and you say, let's enjoy it and embrace it. Let's go cut it loose, and that's exactly what I'm expecting from our group. Absolutely.
Versus being in other parts of the county where they might be needed.
Sure.
What are those conversations with the league like as you guys consider?
Just basically what you said. Commissioner Goodell does a great job of understanding the platform the NFL has while also understanding this is bigger than the game of football. And so without taking away from our ability to be able to get this situation under control and contained with the people that are instrumental in doing that, that has been something. Now, to say that I've been on the forefront of those conversations in regards to exactly what the numbers are, but what you just said is exactly kind of where their priorities are, and that's why you're hopeful and praying that get this under control first and foremost for the safety, and then as a positive that'll also enable us to be able to play here.
Last one, guys.
When you made the decision coming out of the bye to spend more time out around the facility just to have good times, what was it about this team that you felt required that?
It's a good question. I think you're always, I can't say that there was anything specific. I think most importantly, it's communicating with people, taking their feedback, and then sometimes it's just an intuition on how you move and being consistent with that. And every single year is a new year. And I think when you really look at it, being fortunate enough to be in year 8, you're saying, hey, how you moved in 17 and 18 might not necessarily be the best way to try to affect and influence positive change, and most importantly, connect with the guys. One of the things that it's great to have this much more space than our old place, but I did like the natural collision hours that took place at our old facility. And it has been, it's fun for me. You're able to feel like you're more connected to the team, you're more connected to the coaching staff, and I've really enjoyed that, and hopefully everybody else